It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey everybody! It's the Fellowship of Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey gang.
And Les Webster.
Hello.
And Liz Newman.
Hello everybody.
Yay.
Back, yay.
She's got a doctor's note for her sick day and everything.
I do.
It was signed by Epstein's mom. And give yourself a bonus point if you get that reference. So, how's everybody?
Doing all right?
Yeah, a lot better.
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Doing okay. So, what's been going on in everybody's corner of the galaxy?
Well, I still have time on my hands for the moment, so I'm still reading trades. Yay! So this week I have devoured Kill or Be Killed Volume 1, which is still awesome, by the way. If you have not picked that one up, it is Ed Brubaker and company at their finest. I also read Volume 4 of Manifest Destiny, which also, I mean, clearly I'm a fan. I bought the trade and all, but
Right.
it's a lot of fun. It's nice historical horror based on the Lewis and Clark expedition. And next in line, I had just started Britannia, Volume 1.
Ah, from Valiant.
Yes, which is also a nice historical horror, crime, mystery thingy. Lots of fun.
Sure.
Very pretty book.
Yeah. Yeah, that was some good stuff. I need to get the trade. I need to go hunt that one down. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Liz, besides recovering from your illness?
Right. I guess I've really just been organizing what I have, and I've run across some really good things, but, you know, like I was telling you guys earlier about The Walking Dead, I've been catching up on my omnibuses. I only get, like I said, an hour a day, so it's stick one book in my bag and go. But I also picked up Doom's Watch, which is it again?
Doomsday Clock.
Yes, there you go.
It's one of those.
I started it finally, so got my own copy. So yeah, it's just a lot of recouping, and like I said, I finally got everything organized. I ordered a bunch of trades for things that I'm missing. I forgot some of the stories that I was into. One was called Negative Space, where guy was going to kill himself, and he couldn't get the inspiration to write a suicide note. And so he goes down and talks to a guy, and he finds out that he's fighting aliens, and I never got to read the ending of that one. So I finally got that one ordered and hope to get it read soon. But that's all I've really been doing. Just recouping and organizing.
Cool. Alrighty. Les?
Well, first, welcome back, Liz. I have been looking at my DC Holiday issue, and I want to say this is some really good stuff. 11 stories, 11 different creative teams, I should say, and it's a really fine read. The way they intermingle several of the characters per story. And it's one of those where you go, okay, I know this is Batman, but who else is going to be in this? Who's going to appear along with Superman? Things like that. And it's pretty nice. If you get the chance, they're still available. Get yourself a copy and just enjoy the Yuletide stories.
Yeah, I have not picked up my copies yet, so I did flip through it and noticed that they reprinted the classic Batman Christmas Story from the 70s.
The Denny O'Neil?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah, so far the holiday issues of stuff that I've seen have looked pretty good in general.
Yeah. I like Christmas stories, though. It could be July and I'll still read a Christmas story.
It'd be July and I'll watch Christmas Story.
Yeah, an elf.
Well, for me, I kind of followed Les's lead from last week and finally read, well, I've read most of it, but the collection of Jack Kirby's Challengers of the Unknown. And it's great stuff. It's some great stories. Of course, the kind of the monster, not necessarily monster of the month, but they kind of tend to go that way, or that kind of thing. The thing that kind of jumped out at me, and I can't remember, it was early on, where they introduced June, and Les can help me out here. In that issue, was it Rocky that they thought had died? And June, it's so funny the way it was written. And June came up and said, "Well, if he's dead, can I take his place?" And I was like, and I'm like, wow, okay. And then
Pretty blunt.
and of course he wasn't really dead. And then she disappears for 2-3 issues or so, and then she appears up, comes back, and then they go, "Well, this is our honorary member." I'm like, really, guys? It's kind of like the original Justice Society, where Wonder Woman was the secretary. You're just going, oh, come on. I understand the time frame and all that, but it's just reading that stuff now, it just is like, oh my God, we're not even shy about it, or kind of, I mean, it's out there.
It just makes you uncomfortable reading something that's 40 or 50 years old like that, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing that would be worse is reading anything that was written by Bob Haney. Love his stories, but his handling of the Teen Titans, with him using, I think I've talked about this on another episode, with him using the jargon, the hip jargon of the 60s.
Yeah.
and then not only that, but just how he basically handled female characters was so bad. And it was so sexist. But he did do some great stories. But it's you gotta look at it now, you gotta cringe a little bit. You're just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the early Warner Brothers cartoons with the racism.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same deal. You watch it and you're like, oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Well, they have cleaned a lot of that up where you can't see that on TV anymore.
Well, I mean, you really kind of can't see those on TV anymore anyway, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Boomerang plays some of the older ones, and like they had this dog, and he was talking about living in New York City, and he's like, oh, the towers, they're going down, they're on fire, and it's like, oh my God.
Ooh.
This was, yeah.
Yikes.
This was from like, I don't know, like the 60s whenever it was made. And it's like, that's just kind of scary. I'm surprised they play it,
Somebody is not thinking about that,
right?
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you want to talk about some of the stuff that, they can't do anymore, the one I can think of is one of the Tex Averys, where you have the bulldog that's singing, doing classical singing, and you got the other dog that's always doing these magic tricks, kind of make him look.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then you got the whole thing where you have the explosion in his face, and all of a sudden he's black faced, and then he gets squat, and all of a sudden he's there. That stuff's cut out now.
Yeah, I remember that one though.
The one that really upsets me. I mean, that stuff I'm going, okay, yeah, I get that. I know why they're doing that. But the one that really upsets me, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, is the Warner Brothers one of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck with the argument of what season it is. It always wound up with Daffy getting shot in the face.
Yeah.
They always cut out him getting shot in the face. I'm like, that's the gag.
Yeah.
That's the gag. That's what you're supposed to be laughing at, is what happens to his face or what happens to the bill.
You're cutting out the punchline.
You're cutting out the joke, so there's really nothing. There's nothing there except for right at the end when it says baseball season, so Elmer starts firing at a baseball. You're just like, okay, wow, okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't CGI'd his gun out yet,
Oh, they'll do that. They'll do that soon.
Yeah. What crazy it is, when my kids were growing up, one thing that used to irk me about the cartoons they had was the phrase, what the... And they never finished it. Now, me and you know what that finishes with. And, then you got your kids walking around the house going, what the... It's like, yep. Go ahead and finish that sentence for me.
They can't, because now that's the sentence by itself.
Yeah. See, that was something I'd be sitting in the bathroom with soap in my mouth for,
Yeah, but now WTF is part of the lingo, too, so...
Yeah.
Oh, fudge.
Yep. You'll shoot your eye out.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah. We had a funny family story about that I'll have to tell you about one day.
Oh, that sounds good.
Redneck birthday party, I'll put it that way.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is called a tease. So you're going to have to stay tuned to find out about that story someday.
Yeah.
Someday.
She's learning quick, isn't she, guys?
Yeah, she is.
Alrighty, before we get into this week's topic, we want to take a couple of moments to thank our sponsors, the fine folks at Things from Another World, for sponsoring the fellowship. Right now, they're only running their evergreen deals. I'm sure that will be changing here real soon, so stand apprised for that. And those evergreen deals are 40% off comic statues, toys, and merchandise, 30% off select pre-order manga titles, and 50% off Nick and Dent comics and trades. So if you want to take advantage of some of those deals and just stay tuned and see whatever else they may be popping up, what you can do is you can go to our website. That is www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Click on our sponsors tab, and there will be all the latest deals that they're running, as well as these evergreen deals. You can click on one of those links and take advantage of all the savings, and I'll let them know that we sent you their way, and we thank them for their support. Christmas is just right around the corner. I mean, it's not even right around the corner. It's kind of in walking distance now, actually. So, alrighty. For this week, it is that time again. It's our quarterly look at our going to crowdfunding sites and checking out some of the stuff that's up for your financial support, and kind of point some out to you guys to kind of check out and see if that may be something you're interested as well. So with that, who would like to go first?
Oh, I'll go first.
Alrighty.
Okay, so my first one is a comic. This is the first issue of what is slated to be a 6-issue arc. The book is called Deadly Crimson. This is, like I said, this is issue 1, and this is the story of a young woman named Crimson, who is essentially kind of a corporate assassin. She's a bit of a scientist, and she came across a serum that kind of a super serum type thing, and obviously tested it out on herself. And so she kind of started doing odd jobs for the head of the corporation she works for. And from the sound of things, I don't want to give too much away, but from the sound of things, she's looking to get out of that line of work, and her boss is not really interested in that idea. So, like I said, 6 issues down the road, of course. This is just covering issue 1. And it actually is pretty brand new. I mean, it's got weeks left. Hasn't quite made goal. It's like 2/3 of the way to the goal, and it has, I don't know, 5-6 weeks to go. As of the time we drop, not even now. More than that now.
Right.
But the prices look reasonable, and the art looks pretty darn good. So it definitely looks like a fun little corporate espionage assassin thing. If you're into that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, this one caught my attention too, and the writer is Melissa Llewellyn. And if that name may sound familiar, she was on the show Naked and Afraid. Mm-hmm. So she's got a nice little acting career, and she obviously did that show too. And now she's branching off into writing comics as well as other things. So yeah, this one caught my attention too.
Gee, so I started right off yanking something off of your.
No. There were several that caught my attention, and that was one of them. But that was not one of my picks. So I'm glad it did get a little showcase. So yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Alrighty, next.
Well, I found a Christmas story. I guess with all that laying around watching Christmas TV. It's called The List, and it says it's not your normal Christmas tale. It says some children want more than gifts for Christmas. They want safety and freedom. This Santa will do whatever it takes to make it a reality. So it kind of sounds like, you'll hear the stories where they're like, oh, Santa, all I want for Christmas is my dad to quit beating my mom. Those little sad stories. Sounds like this is the Santa that actually goes out and makes that happen. So,
cool.
Yeah, they've got quite a bit of the artwork up. And to me, this is the kind of artwork I like. It's real smooth and colorful and clean. So I think just the artwork alone should be pretty good on this one. It's got 9 days left. So it's almost reached its goal. But this is one I've definitely saved, and I'm going to back on this one. But it's called The List by James Stimpson.
I get the picture in my head of Santa Claus as a vigilante.
Right? Well, their cover, he's holding like a gun and this little kid like under his arm. So, I mean...
Cool.
Wow.
But one of the questions was, is this okay for kids? And they're like, no. This one's aimed for the adults.
Well, they're honest.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because one of the pictures, he's blowing a guy's head off. So,
Nice. Very nice.
Right.
I'll go next. Return of Barry Dale, the original Animan by Tread Comics. And what they're doing is they are taking the classic books from the 40s, which were only 2 books, and cleaning up the original art and adding effects, and then putting it on digitally with all the proceeds going to the Hero Initiative.
Cool.
Which is to aid, if those are not familiar with the Hero Initiative, that is a organization who helps creators who need help with like paying for insurance or health bills and that kind of stuff. So this is a really cool idea, and I love it. And it really has a low. The goal is $150, and they're at $50 right now, with 29 days to go as of taping So it'd be 3 weeks by the time this drops. So it'll meet its goal big time. But this is such a great idea, and I really hope that it succeeds.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea because I mean it's public domain material, so I mean just go back and clean it up and then just do whatever they can, and whatever money it does make go to help creators who need it, because I mean one of the creators of the book was Jerry Robinson, and those who may go, that name sounds familiar but I can't place anything, he's the co-creator of Robin, the Boy Wonder, Joker. So I mean he left Atom Man to start doing the Batman and several other books. So it would be to help creators like him, who unfortunately is not with us anymore. But there's several out there who need our help, and this is a way to do it. I think it's an awesome idea.
Nice.
Are they offering copies of the PDF or something for this?
It looked like it, yes. So that would be cool as well as part of the goals. Because I would definitely take it. I would definitely like it because I do have, for $2 you get the PDF version. $20 you get a signed print by the cover artist, and then you get the PDF. And then with $50 you receive original illustration.
Wow.
And then you also receive Gold and Silver Age Society packages, which I'm not sure exactly what those are.
Well, that's a nice feasible.
I'm sorry. So Gold and Silver Age are the other goals. So I mean, you do $50, you get everything. You get it all. So, and like I said, so basically one person's already pledged the ultimate goal, the ultimate. The Bronze Age, the $50 package. So, looks real cool.
Sweet.
Sounds cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah. All right, Les.
Well, my first round is a comic coming out called The Chair. The Chair is about a young man who is in a wheelchair. As he is trying to escape some bullies, his chair gets caught on a board or something and dumps him. And at the same time, a la Daredevil or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a vat of radioactive waste dumps on him.
It's the ooze, yes.
It's the ooze. Secret of the ooze.
I went straight to Toxic Avenger, but anyway.
Well, that works too.
The title character, does not get superpowers, but a bolt of lightning or electricity hits, and the chair gets superpowers. The character then is wheeling about fighting crime, and the chair is mainly doing the major part. The main goal is that Kevin, the quadriplegic, finds that he is a lot stronger than he gave himself credit. And one of the tags is the chair learns what it truly means to be human. This is a 5-issue series, and even the low amounts will get you a download of the 5 issues. So, it's pretty cheap. The art's not bad, but the incentives are pretty nice. They do tell you, though, that there is sex in this book, too. So, and I'm sorry to say there's a picture of a young lady who is straddling the chair. So, okay.
He's human.
Nope, he's no Pinocchio, that's for sure.
Y'all have been going to see too many of those AGFA movies. But anyway.
Wow.
Alrighty.
To the bone, wasn't it?
Okay, Mikey.
Alrighty. My second one is the title of the campaign is Tales of Baneheath Red. Now, what this is, and it's kind of got two titles for a reason. The whole concept is called Tales of Baneheath, and it's about this place that's, from their description, it seems like it's going to be kind of a low fantasy horror possible type thing. Adventure in basically a stark medieval society type thing. Some of the influences they list are Hellboy and John Carter of Mars, in the Earthsea trilogy, and some stuff like that. They talk about Frank Frazetta a little bit. Just to give you some idea, the art obviously is really nice in this book. Like I said, the series is called Tales of Baneheath. This book is this is the first book, and it is called Red. And Red is a titular character, and he's a guy who is basically sick of being a farmer, an unsuccessful farmer, and so he strikes off to make his way. And there are some other people along the way. There's family he's leaving behind. There's people he meets. But this is essentially we'll call it a short graphic novel. This particular issue is maybe not the right word, but and this is based out of Europe, so it's all of the numbers are in pounds, but it is still pretty early on. By the time that we dropped, we're going to have like 4 weeks left, and it's a kind of an ambitious goal, but they're already kind of along the way to getting it. And like I said, the art that they show on their page here, some really pretty stuff. This is going to be really interesting.
Cool. It does sound interesting.
It does.
That was not on my radar, but it will be now. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice snag.
It is.
Alrighty, Liz.
I picked one just because it looked cute. You know, I have the cute reads that I do. But it reminded me of, back in my day, there was a girl called Emily Strange. And, you know, she was the little goth girl who hung out with the little black cat all the time. But this one is called Goth Ghost Girl. It looks like it's going to be a mini-series, but she's a ghost. But like I said, she looks just like Emily Strange. But she's got a little rock band and everything. It looks like it's already supported. I guess since it's going to be an ongoing, that's why they've still got it up. But I think for $5 you get the book, and they said it was 122 pages, so it's a little hefty book.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I picked.
And you say it's met goal?
It has met goal.
Okay. That's cool.
Matter of fact, they wanted $1,000 and they got $6,000 for it. So.
Oh, very nice.
Blue past the goal. That's nice.
Yeah, so it'll definitely
awesome.
Be an ongoing thing, I'm sure. But the artwork's cute, not real scratchy or anything, just kind of bright and what I call a cute book. You know, my fluff read.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Nope.
Alrighty, Les.
Let's see. For my second is a book called Rolled a One. This is a little short story or a comic book that has met the goal. It's out of Canada, and it is particularly pointed at Dungeons and Dragons players. It's a story that explores friendships among 5 kids playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's pretty simple in concept. The artwork looks like it's for all ages. I don't see any statements saying keep away from children. And the levels are unbelievable. Your top level is $9. And for that you get a physical book, a digital download, and an embroidered patch. And that is the most expensive thing. Now, they did have some that were going for around $50, but those are sold out. But if you can toss under $3 toward them, you get your digital copy. I thought that was kind of nice.
It is.
Very cool.
Yep, very nice.
Alrighty, for my second choice, I'm going with a book called Judges, and it's classified as a neo-noir crime comic book. This is planned to be an 8-issue miniseries, and according to the writer Silas Dunn, it's already been mapped out, it's already been written, so it's just a matter of getting the art done and then actually printing the book. But it's about a city called Remorse. That from the reading of this, it sounds kind of like something like Sin City. It's an anthology book that focuses on about a half dozen characters or so, but not necessarily. It's kind of just a dark, evil city, but everybody's actually trying to do the right, or doing what they think is the right thing. And it has a $2,000 goal, and as of recording, it's only $14. But it still has about 3 weeks ago, as of the date this drops. The art, a lot of the art is just kind of sketch. It's just kind of layouts from the first issue, which looks kind of interesting. And in the description, they give you all the different characters, and like, for example, one of them's named Azrael, and it says she fights for the abused women in Remorse. First time we meet her, she's preventing a rape. She was abused by her stepfather as a child, so she knows the pain and aims to stop it. So it's kind of a dark book, but it kind of sounds interesting, and the cover looks great. If the rest of the book is just as like the cover, then it should be a nice looking series, and it sounds very intriguing.
Yep, and we've got our first steal of the night.
Did I steal it from you?
Yep, this is going to be my next one. But, that's not a bad thing. It's out there. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really cool. The descriptions sound really dark, but it looks like some good stuff.
Cool.
I missed that one. I keep looking down this list to see how you guys found all these good ones.
Well, okay, so... once again, we're getting all of these off of Kickstarter. And the deal is, when you search for if you search for comics on Kickstarter, it pretty much randomizes the list. So there's a bunch of campaigns going at any given time, and they're all scattered all over the place. Anytime you look at the list, it's going to be different. And so we're all looking at the same list in a completely different order. And so that's how we're pulling different stuff. It's
pretty cool.
really useful for people like us who do this the way we do it, because we don't have that many duplicates. But yeah, it also can, unless you really know what you're looking for, it can make it tricky to find something specific. You kind of have to have some keywords in mind when you're looking for something specific.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good at categorizing things too.
Right. Generally, what I do is I do a sort by newest first, and then go from there. That way, you're not really encountering.
That way we're not talking about stuff that's going to be done before we drop the episode.
Well, that too, but it's real easy to come across something that has already been completed, and with the search function, it can already be something that was completed months ago, but you don't really realize it until you actually start looking and say, okay, how many days are left in the campaign? Well, there's none. It's already done. So
yeah.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Your mileage may vary.
Well, and I keep an eye on dates when I'm looking for them too. There were a few that I would have loved to have brought up, but they're going to be done in like 4 days, or some of them are even down to hours, and I'm like, damn it, that's not gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
We got about 5 days before we drop, so.
Yeah. That's one thing I forgot to look at.
No, it's not a big deal. This is your first time, so it's fine. Not a big deal.
So I just had a lot of fun looking through there because I didn't realize there was so many different projects out there like that, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's why we can do this 4 times a year, is because it's all brand new by the time we get back to it. It's all brand new because the longest campaigns only last 2 months.
And wasn't there a comic book series that was like a zombie series that was launched off of Kickstarter and it made it into the comic book stores?
Oh, I'm sure there's been several. But
yeah, there's been several, yeah.
This was like an artist, and he got fed up with the big 2. So he made, I think it was like a 12-issue miniseries, but it was like different parts of the town. So each issue had like 9 different places where it was happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thomas, you remember, it was each book had the map of where each of the titles was appearing.
Oh, and you're talking about it was the double take stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think
I think so.
Because everything was basically centered around the events of Night of the Living Dead, the 68 version.
Yep.
But it was like there was like Remote. There was like a book called Remote, and then there was like Z-Men. You know, it was like there was one that was like based in a grocery store, one at a radio station, like one at a church. It was just kind of these different things. Yeah.
Yeah. But it all had like the same story theme.
Yeah, because it was happening. It was happening. It was all happening at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I like the concept. I like the idea, but reading some of that, it just was not really executed that well. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, and I love a good zombie story, and it never really caught on to me.
Yeah, it didn't last long, and unfortunately, neither did Double Take. So
yeah,
it was ambitious.
Taught me a rule. If I get 3 issues into it and I don't like it, then I'll quit reading. But I give it 3 to get going.
Hey, 3 issues is fair, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Les is the one who taught me that one, though.
Well, wait, hey, whoa.
Yeah, killing your ways. But it's true. Sometimes it just takes a little while for them to get their footing and go,
Sure.
Yep. It was ambitious. I'll give them that, and it was an intriguing idea. I mean, I liked the idea. It was definitely something different, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Doing something different is always a good thing.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else have a third choice?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I actually technically even have a fourth one if we need it, but my next choice is called Metal Made Flesh. And this is interesting because it is actually a hardcover reprint of 3 books of this story that previously appeared on Kickstarter. And it is, they describe it as a cyberpunk space opera. So humanity has ceased its expansion and has started to retreat. And so they are hiding in a small city. And there are lots of interesting characters, and they range from cyborgs to assassins to mutant war machines. And like I said, this is a collection of 3 of these graphic novels combined into one hardcover version, and it is from UK. It's from the UK, so the creators are all from kind of that UK comic book scene. Some 2000 AD guys, and some there's been some appearances in Heavy Metal magazine and that sort of thing. This, by the time we drop, will have like a week and a half to go, and it's long past the goal. So this is a sure bet. It is definitely going to make goal because it's like almost 5 times the goal already. So looks like some fun stuff, and the art's really pretty too, in that gritty cyberpunk sort of way.
See, I did see that one. Didn't the guy that they show on the video, to me, he reminded me of the new Lobo.
I actually didn't watch the video on this one, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just kind of pretty and clean, and, you know.
It was Twilight Lobo, huh?
Yeah. It was.
Sparkle Lobo.
Right.
That's what the New 52's Lobo was called, Twilight Lobo.
Twilight Lobo.
Oh, gosh. That's disturbing.
And they were right.
But yeah, it did seem pretty interesting on that one.
Alrighty, anybody else have another pick?
I saw one called Holidays. It's an all Krampus spectacular.
Boy, you're really on a theme here, aren't you?
I am. I said all these Christmas movies, but I love me a good Krampus story. Anytime they put anything out with Krampus on the comic books, I always try to grab it because, I don't know, I guess growing up real Christian the way I did, it always intrigued me. And this one, actually, they give you 4 different stories of Krampus. So, like, one he's all cleaned up and he's the sleazy business dude and that kind of thing, you know. But it's Tales from Holidays, and I do believe in the comic book stores now they have, like, they're usually the horror books, like Tales from the Dark Side kind of thing.
Right.
But it's the same kind of artwork, kind of, it's not as smooth as I like, but I still like it because it's real bright. But, yeah, I'll definitely get this one because, like I said, I like a good horror Christmas story. And it looks like they're actually going to give us a different take than the normal he beats bad kids, you know. So I'm trying to see.
Come on. What's wrong with beating bad kids?
You can just.
And why limit yourself to the bad ones? I mean, come on.
Well, true.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
Like it has met its goal. It was a $600 goal, and they've already backed it at $761.
Sweet.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Another guaranteed gonna
Right.
happen.
$5 gets you a digital copy, and $8 gets you a physical copy.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
No?
Nope. Cool. Any other choices?
I think we're done here. Are you on?
I had one until I realized that, well, I actually had 2, but one had been canceled, so I'm like, okay, well, screw that. And then the other one apparently had been completed so long ago, but it's, like I said, there's the issue with, kind of trying to search for things. It was a fan film called Pinfall. And the story of this was, it's a fan film made off a story that was actually slated to be part of Creepshow 2.
Ooh.
Oh.
But but they cut this story, and they had cut another story for budgetary reasons. And the other story, I'm pulling up the information now on it, was actually made into it made it into another horror anthology film, which some people call Creepshow 3 instead of what actually came out as Creepshow 3. But the whole premise of the story is it's about these two teams of bowlers. One is kind of your average Joes who they're really good, but they just do it for the love of bowling and getting drunk and having fun and all this. And then the other group is a very competitive, kind of a snotty group. And what happens is one night an older gentleman came in and through a freak accident dies at the alley. And come to find out that it's this really rich guy, and in the will it says there was something to the fact that whoever won at the end of the season would inherit a ton of money. So what happens was the snooty guys basically kill off the other group, but the other group come back to life to get revenge. So it's kind of reminds me of the something to tide you over with from the first film about the cheating woman and the boyfriend being buried at sea, and then they come back for revenge and that kind of stuff. So it sounded like a great story that's so appropriate for Creepshow.
Oh yeah, totally.
But a fan film was made. I assume it was made, but oh god, the estimate delivery is December 2014. So yeah, this was a while back. Mm. But I came across it. And I started reading about it. I'm like, this is cool. First of all, I did not know there was actually two stories that were eliminated from the film. I did think it was kind of strange that there was 5 stories in the first one and only 3 in the second. But I didn't like the second one so much that I don't watch it that much. Okay, the story was called Cat from Hell. The other story was cut out, and it showed up in Tales from the Dark Side of the movie. So there you go. So. Cool. That would have been cool to, and it still may be cool to kind of check out if we can get our hands on it. But I like the story, and God, someone should pick that up and actually make that into if not an anthology, part of an anthology film. There may be enough. You can probably expand that just a little bit, but what do I know?
Could be.
Alrighty, some great choices. So. Guys, go out there, and if those sound interesting to you,
we'll
support them. Yep, we'll have the links in the show notes, so go check them out. And if those don't, then stay on Kickstarter or check out Indiegogo and look and see if you can support some of those creators that are wanting to live out their dream and their passion of creating comics or movies or whatever. So
games or just art in general. Yeah.
Right. Alrighty. On that note, we will take a quick break and come back with our weekly picks. And we're back, and it's time for our weekly picks, and Mike leads off.
And I lead off. And this week, actually, I've got way more number ones than I should ever have. But my first pick is the return of a really awesome series. We're getting a new arc of the comic book history of comics from IDW. Issue 1 comes out this week, and the subtitle on this arc is Comics for All. And it looks like they're going to discuss the history of the graphic novel in this series, so that ought to be a whole lot of fun.
Yep.
The first one was a whole lot of fun, jam-packed full of interesting tidbits and knowledge, and I can't really envision this one being any different, so check it out.
Very cool.
I do follow this stuff. This is good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'm up next, and for my first choice, I'm going with Action Labs' Danger Zone imprint and Hardcourt Legacy #2, written by Brendan Cahill, art by Jason Federin. I enjoyed the heck out of the first issue. Violet is such a great character. I love her sense of humor and kind of her smart-assness. And of course we have a little bit of drama here with her, I believe it was her uncle who was dying, and he was about to leave her what he had learned regarding, he spent his whole life looking for magical items, and realized that magic doesn't really come from the items. It's something else. So he's about to reveal all this stuff to her, much to the aunt's objections. So we got to see where things are going here, because things are about to blow up. But it's a 3-issue miniseries, and I love the first issue so much. So I'm definitely picking this up, and I've been encouraging anyone else to pick up this series too.
Yep, first issue was really good.
I agree.
Alrighty, Les.
My first issue is the final issue of the series, Hard Place. This is number 5 of 5 with Doug Wagner, Nick Rummel, and Brian Stelfreeze. Oh, you got me right there with Brian Stelfreeze. But this is a finale, and it's the ultimate. Everything is coming together in this issue, so you're wondering if which of the characters is going to survive. So if you haven't been reading it, find the previous issues and sew it up with this one.
Yep, I agree again. Another good one.
Yep. Been pretty good. Yep, I agree. Liz, what's your first choice?
Well, for my first choice, I went with a trade. It's Batman Arkham, Joker's Daughter. This will go all the way back to the 1970s when she appeared in the Batman family. I've always liked Dula Dent. She's just crazy psychotic. I think she's claimed to be daughters of like the Riddler and Two-Faced and the Joker, and I mean any good villain, she's their daughter. But this one will collect issues Batman's Family 6, 8, 9, 16, and 19. It'll also cover when she was in Teen Titans, Detective Comics, the Secret Files of the Teen Titans, and also it looks like when she was in Batman the Dark Knight. So, like I said, a lot of good stories there. Finally puts it all together. I don't think we'll know who she is by the end of reading it still.
I remember reading the old stuff. I was reading the Batman families and the Teen Titans. You know, that was my introduction to Teen Titans. Was right about the time that she joined as Harley Quinn, and she was called Harley Quinn.
She was.
Yeah.
And also like Red Card or.
Yeah, she's had a lot of different code names.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually cool that they put this collection together, kind of makes me wonder what's going on. I wonder if she's about to resurface.
You know, when they did the one shot of Joker's daughter, I don't think they actually revealed it was Dula underneath there. So I don't know if it was the same one, but I'm assuming so since they've added it in this collection. But that was to kick off her going into Suicide Squad for the few issues she did.
Yeah. It just... When Marvel or DC puts together a collection that seems kind of random, I'm always wondering, okay, what's the motive?
What do you do? Well, especially to go that far back to the 70s to get these stories. So they're definitely putting an origin story together for her.
So there's a purpose for them to do this, and we just don't know why. I mean...
It'll be pretty interesting. I know when she was in the Suicide Squad with Harley, I always wondered how that would work. You know, they're both fascinated with the Joker, and they didn't disappoint with the fight and everything else between the two, so hopefully they'll do something good with her.
Yeah.
And she's crazy enough they could make her fit anything, you know.
Right. So, we'll see.
Yep.
That's a good choice. Yes. I definitely need to pick one up for myself.
Yep.
Alrighty, Mikey, you are up again.
I'm up again. My second choice is another number one. This is from Valiant, though. And we're getting a new ongoing series for Quantum and Woody.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we get to see the goat again. Woo! I like the goat. The goat's awesome. But anyway, yes, Daniel Kibblesmith and Kano are providing the talent for this one, and I imagine it will be as much fun as previous Quantum and Woody series have been. These guys, they just refuse to get along. It's great. A lot of fun stuff. When Valiant does comedy, they do it well. When Valiant does a lot of things, they do it well. So, you know.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Yeah. They've been gone for a little too long. I know they've shown up in other books as co-stars, but for their an ongoing, it's been just a little bit too long. So I'm glad they're back.
Yep.
Alrighty. For my second choice, I'm going with a collection as well. This is from Archie Comics' Dark Circle imprint. It's Hangman Volume 1, written by Frank Thierry and art by Felix Ruiz. Dark Circle is their new take of Red Circle characters that have literally been around since the 40s. I mean, they weren't too long after Superman and Batman and all them came around. And Hangman, surprisingly, was one of those characters. I think he was more 50s, but this is a modern take with kind of a supernatural spin to it, which was cool. I know when Impact, which was a short-lived imprint from DC, had these characters, they kind of went with the supernatural take on the character too. So it's obviously something that's kind of tempting. I guess it's something, something they want to go with that route and all that. But this was a really good series, and with the Crusaders starting up again, we just had the Shield series earlier in the year. Maybe Archie's finally starting to try to put together their superhero line that I thought we would have. Really thought we would have kind of a little bit more of a what's the word I'm thinking of. Probably just have more of it by now. You would figure we would have something kind of a little bit more consistent, but they know what they're doing. So, but definitely pick up this trade. It's a good read.
Yep, a little slow in coming, but it's a good read.
Right.
Yeah, I agree too, because this is something to me that's been needed quite some time.
Yeah. Alrighty, Les.
Okay. Coming to you from Aftershock Comics is Backways. This is number 1, brought to you by Justin Jordan and Eleonora Carlini. This is, where to describe it? You have magic, you have madness, you have forgotten spaces. In this, you have a take of your basement is your attic. Down the street is the haunted house. It's just a mash of various things going on. And I was tempted just because of the build up for it. I'm not sure that it is it looks like it's going to be an ongoing rather than a limited series. So if you're into, Chronicles of Narnia or Harry Potter, this will probably be something you need to search for.
Yep.
Cool. And Justin Jordan's a good writer anyway, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was thinking the way they described the Backways was kind of like the Stranger Things, the Upside Down with magic.
Yes. Yeah.
That should be pretty cool.
Cool. Alrighty, Liz.
All right, for my last one, I have Doom Patrol number 10 coming from DC. Of course, this is Jared Way and Nick Darrington together. They said the world is going haywire and it's up to Doom Patrol to save it from going to shit. So, of course, we're still going to see the weird things that happen from the normal Doom Patrol. And they're teasing us with a secret origin reveal. So, yay! This one's just been a real fun read, though. I like Jared Way stuff from like the Umbrella Academy and the Killjoys. And this is kind of the same kind of weird take, but in the same token, totally different than what he normally did. So I'm having a lot of fun with this title.
As am I. I think this is really well constructed.
Yep. And it kind of, he's getting back to what he was meant to do. You know, I loved My Chemical Romance. I will always be a fan of them. You know, it'll take me back to my emo days. But to see him actually do what he was meant to do is amazing, you know. He's just very talented.
No two ways about that.
Right.
No argument here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's always shown in his music and now with his comic work. So I could actually see them picking this one up and doing like a mini series with it, you know, for TV or something. Which I heard rumors of that they're doing with his other one, Umbrella Academy. So.
Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's already been casting. I think everybody's been cast, last I heard, or if not, pretty darn close.
Cool.
Yep.
I wonder if he'll do the music for it. That'd be
I don't
cool.
see why not.
That would
Right.
be cool.
That would be
very
cool.
interesting.
Alrighty. Good choices around. Any special mentions or shout outs this week?
Well, we have an honorable mention.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got an honorable mention. Yes.
Yes, we have an honorable mention from IDW. It has been 15 years since Steve Niles and Ben Templesmith gave us 30 Days of Night. And so now Steve Niles is going back and kind of doing a bit of a revision on it. This should be a new take on possibly the same story. So 30 Days of Night #1 comes out this week.
So it's like a reboot?
I think so. That's kind of what the description sounds like.
Cool.
And it's a reboot by the same writer, so that ought to be really interesting to see how different he makes it.
Maybe just a little more modern. That's cool.
Alrighty. Thank you for reminding me that we had an honorable mention that hadn't done so.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Once again, Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
Not me.
Not here.
No.
All righty.
That was emphatic. No.
Nope.
Okay.
Not just no, but hell no.
Oh.
Get off my lawn.
Hey, that's my line. My job.
What job?
Alrighty, well, we'll get into our regular shout-outs. First off to Manny the Murder for supplying the music for our podcast. We thank them very much for their support. You guys should really check out their music. We'll have a link in our show notes, and if you go to our website and click on the podcast tab, you'll see their logo, and that'll take you there. And they've got 2 EPs out right now. Hopefully we'll have another one here soon. So thank you guys for your support. Second of all, the fine folks of the fine organization of podcasters on Twitter, better known as #PodernFamily, for spreading the word of the fellowship. It's greatly appreciated. If you are looking for a podcast on any subject matter that you can think of, the best way to go try to find it is go to Twitter. Don't necessarily have to have an account. And just do a search. #PodernFamily, all is one word, and have fun. You'll definitely find it, and if you don't, you're going to find something that you'll like just as well. A lot of great shows out there, a lot of great entertaining people out there. So thank you guys for your support. It's definitely appreciated. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. Thank you for your support in the past. It's very much appreciated. We always value your feedback. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything that you just like to send our way, we will definitely listen. There are several ways you can contact us. Obviously, you can contact us on the website. Once again, that's www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Click on the About Us tab, and there's a form there you can fill out. Or you can just shoot us an email, and that email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can contact us through social media. We're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks, or also on Twitter, @FellowshipGeeks. Mikey has his own personal Twitter account, @MikeyGeek. Feel free to follow him there. Liz has one as well. That's @Newman_L, and that's Newman, NEUMANN_L. Feel free to follow her there. And I have one as well, @TomTCGeek. And wherever you download or listen to our shows, whether it's through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and hopefully here sometime soon on Spotify, right, Mikey?
Well, that's the plan anyway.
All right.
I have no idea how long it takes to hear back from them, though. So
that's true, but it's something we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Please rate us through whatever rating system they have, whether it's stars, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you have an additional couple of minutes, a review would be awesome. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Yes, thanks, everybody.
No.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for listening once again, gang. It's greatly appreciated. We love you guys. Season's greetings one more time. We're almost there. The year is almost over. It's hard to believe.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
It's almost done.
And one more note. Please support your local stores, especially this time of year. It's greatly appreciated from them. we do have the fine sponsors at Things from Another World, but the local stores, they need your money. They need your support as well.
They're your neighbors.
So please, they're your neighbors. Yeah.
Yep.
They're your
community.
There you go. Support your local community. And with that, read more comics and support your local stores. We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,